Welcome back to the Blue Door Pub Thunderdome. Be another bull with Andy Carlson, Minnesota's 87th best daily podcast. A show about everything and nothing. 5 days a week. Coming at you. Tell a friend. Spread the word. iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Bullshow.co. At the Jerome Army. Yeah, good times. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, as it were. Adrian Peterson, birthday day. Camel, hello. Amelia Jerome Rayno of the Star Tribune. Food, travel, life, everything under the sun we're going to be talking about today. And it's going to be fun. I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to get Amelia on the show for a while, but of course, being the Globetrotter, it's kind of hard to do. Oh, sorry, Andy. I can't come on the show today. I'm going to be in Cuba. Cuba Libre. Yeah, it's going to be... I love Amelia because she travels the world, so I don't have to. And you guys know I'm very much a homebody. Like, I have a house, I have internet, I have cable. I live in the burbs. I can cook, and I live near Fresh Time. I mean, what else do I really need under the sun? I don't know. Yeah. Some of you do need, though. Shopping through our Amazon, like bullshow.co/Amazon, redirect you right to the homepage. You know what to do every time you buy something on Amazon. If you want to support the show, easiest way to do it, use that link, bookmark it. Every time you browse, buy a little something. Some, I don't know, what needed to travel? Like a canteen, a carabiner, a backpack? Sure. Yeah, get it on Amazon through us. We'll get a couple nickels in our pocket, and we'll keep on rolling along, baby. That's what we'll do. All right, let's get to Amelia. Welcome into the Blue Door Pub Thunderdome is Amelia Rayno, food and travel writer at the Star Tribune. Hi, how's it going?
Hi, it's going good.
You seem giddy. You seem excited.
I'm giddy because I've been in the office for 11 hours, and now I have a beer in front of me. So life is a lot better than it was.
Wait, so it's not because you're sitting across from a local digital audio legend.
Also, I am about to be on the legendary Andy Carlson show, and frankly, I've been looking forward to this for a month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, I did have to book you out a little ways in advance because your schedule is... eclectic? Can we say that? Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to start telling people that. I have an eclectic schedule. Yeah. Very important.
Just a small trip to Florida with all the other writer jabronis for spring training. It's good. Follow Amelia on Twitter and Instagram. She's an Instagram legend. I think that's fair to say. At Amelia Rayno, both spots. Also the food blog, travelingoutabounds.com.
So many legends being thrown around early on.
Well, I don't
just let the listeners understand, what exactly they're listening to.
Well, I don't throw the term legend around liberally, but I just did a bunch, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. Wanted to have you on talking about food and travel because you're living like every single college journalism anybody's dream job, essentially.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I cannot deny that. I'm living my own dream, that's for sure. I have been lucky enough to cover both sports and now travel and food, and I feel like I tell people
sports. You mean basketball?
Well, okay, I covered some. I cover other sports.
Shade.
Is that an indictment on the game, or is that an indictment on the Gophers?
I kid. Mr. Naismith, that Canuck, that dirty Canadian, was a wonderful man, and he created a fine sport. Yeah.
Well, it was fun. I got to cover all the bad years, and then they got really good as soon as I left, so that was hilarious.
Let's actually pause there. Let's start at the beginning. So, where you're from?
Okay.
Where'd you go? What'd you do?
From North Carolina, Raleigh, born and raised. And,
so Wolfpack.
Well, I actually grew up an UNC fan.
Oh.
They're like 15 minutes of each other, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill.
So happy day for you.
So, I will say I'm not the way that the team is currently constructed and maybe some of the leadership. I am not as great of a fan as I at one
Roy
time
Williams
was.
is pretty polarizing.
Yes, that's a good word. Polarizing
not at the level of Art Briles, but
he's up there. He's up there.
Yeah.
And have you ever followed, as a side note, his Twitter account? if not, you need to do this.
Wait, does he have an actual tour account?
No, it's like it's a farce, but it's amazing because he just uses all these like dad gummit them boys, blah blah blah. It's wonderful.
Which is kind of sad because
you've listened to him enough. I'm all tangled up with the wire here. If you've listened to him enough, it's truly wonderful.
Which is kind of sad because growing up, I was a pretty big college basketball fan when they hung around for more than a semester. And, Roy Williams of Kansas, Paul Pierce, and Rafe LaFrentz, and Jacques Vaughn. Like, those are some good teams. And he went to North Carolina. I kind of lost track of him. But with the recent academic stuff and the scandals and also a couple of things
he's back in focus.
Yeah.
But did you know that last night was his 100th NCAA tournament game that he's coached in? Isn't that mind-boggling when you think about that? Well, he was in Kansas for so long and Carolina, so, I mean, he was kind of handed some gifts.
Because you have a max of 6 per year, and that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so he's okay at that coaching thing. But
there's a reason why he got almost $1 million in tournament bonuses, and his kids got a T-shirt.
Right.
And a little piece of nylon net. Good job, buddy.
They're just good boys. Yeah. They just love basketball.
Yeah. And a degree that's not worth toilet paper once they dig into it.
We don't like to send the basketball players to class.
Well, who was it? I think it's Dan Dockich put out like a completely asinine tweet that said that the kids are basically part-time employees and they get the equivalent of $60,000 a year. And it's just like,
I mean, that's another debate, but I kind of agree. I mean, I do think they are treated a bit like employees.
Yeah.
They have a job. I mean, their job is NCAA basketball. NCAA makes a lot of money off of it. I don't really know what the solution there is. That's like a whole nother show.
It's almost gotten to the point where the paying college athletes, it's almost like abortion, where it's like a World War I battle. You're in your trenches. There's a no man's land, and no one's crossing sides.
Right.
It's gotten to that point. Also, that actually applies to a lot of political debates nowadays, but I digress.
It's true. And also, I just don't think there's really a good solution. I mean, if you're not going to blow up the collegiate model altogether, and if you're going to try to make it fair across divisions and sports and things like that, and if you're going to continue to make it educational in any way, shape, or form, I mean, I think you just have to take it away and make it a club sport at that point, and stop calling it college basketball, college sports, or whatever. So
I think that might be the future.
Maybe, yeah.
Especially with
money does amazing things.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many changes are possible when you put some dollars down on the table.
Yeah. And people who come in as basically just school administrators and then become like organized crime leaders,
right?
Which is what Mark Emmert is.
I mean, someday there's going to be like an amazing movie about the NCAA and this like funny past of basketball when it is in the future when it's club.
There was a movie like that about FIFA that came out.
Yes.
There was a notable actor, like the guy from The Usual Suspects was United Passions, which was just complete propaganda garbage. Yeah, Tim Roth. And, Gerard Depardieu and Sam Neill. Yeah, the amazingness of technology.
I'm going to have to watch that.
Yeah. So right now, gun to your head, you had to decide. Amelia, well, not gun to your head.
Seriously, so violent.
I know. They just really wanted you to determine, fix this. Amelia, fix this, pay athletes, not pay college athletes, fix it. What would you do?
Oh, really? You're calling on me to do it?
Yeah. Well, I took the gun.
All these people have failed.
I took the gun away. It's all right.
But I'm going to solve it. Oh, thank you for taking the gun away.
Yeah.
I think you got to change the model. I think you got to do what we just talked about. I think you got to make it club sports.
Yep.
Semi-professional or whatever, or just lower level professional stages, and make school about going to school again. But the flip side of that is, are you going to have all of these athletes? Are they going to get any kind of education? Probably not, unless they get it afterwards. And then if you still have, the same talent level, which you would have to assume as you have right now, just the vast minority of them are going to move on, to make money more money in the sport and play, at the highest level. And so, that's not ideal either. Take this gun away. I don't like this gun.
I already took the gun away. All right, now.
I don't know what the answer is.
Hear me out about this test balloon. You track the amount of hours that all the athletes put in. You pay them whatever the going rate at the university is for, like student work. Like if you went to school, you got a job at the library, cushy job, you made like $15 an hour.
Yeah.
In 2006, it was fantastic, right? Pay the athletes that for the time that they put in, and they can either take that now, they could escrow that and earn interest on it until they graduate, and then they'll have a nice down payment for a condo ready to go. Or, I already hate my idea.
Yeah, I mean, so are you doing this with every student athlete?
Every sport across the board. Oh, and also let athletes seek out outside sponsorship.
Okay, well, that would be a good start. I mean, that one's also, there's, that's tricky, but I think that if you could only allow outside sponsorship, people can...
because the
unfortunate thing is some athletes are making the school a lot of money, and some of the athletes aren't making the school any money. Some of the athletes are just draining money. So if you're going to put it under the collegiate model and you're going to call it that, it feels a bit hypocritical to let some go after, make all this money on sponsorship deals and stuff like this when no one else can do that. But it's not a fair world either. I mean, it's not fair with scholarships. It's not fair that some teams are making the school money and some aren't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fair at schools, but I don't know if that's not a solution. Fairness is our current model, our current very flawed model.
Or at least give the kids an opportunity to get their education, say they leave school early, or come back and get an actual education.
Well, a lot of schools do that.
Yeah. Because, was it the one and dones only have to be eligible fall semester, and they don't even have to go to class in the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is messed up, but I understand it.
I don't agree with that either. I think they should just be able to go straight from high school if they're so talented. I mean, it wasn't like people were flooding from high school to the pros. It's a very select few athletes that are able to do that.
All right,
and if they're a Kobe, let them go be Kobe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't need more Kobe's. Well, on the court, we could use plenty more Kobe's, but the rest, nah. All right, so we need to check out of this, otherwise this could be a whole show.
Yeah.
But smooth segue, March Madness, the beer bracket.
Okay.
Very hot. Got a lot of attention. Tell me about it.
I started out thinking about just something that we could do because I am a sports nerd, and I wanted to acknowledge March Madness in some way in my new role. And we were trying to just figure out what to do it with, and I ultimately decided beer because I don't know if you've realized this, but people are super passionate about their beers.
Hold on. Achoo. 2 more breweries just opened up down the street. It's great.
Really? Which ones?
Just as I sneeze.
Scoop. Oh, okay. I see. It's amazing how many there are, actually. When we had people, it was all reader voter based, and we had readers vote for like their top favorite breweries in the state to get our field initially, and people sent in 123 different breweries, and that's crazy. That's not even all of them, but that's how many somebody is drinking with a passion. Who
was someone surprising that was left out?
Somebody surprising that was left out?
Yeah, that went to the NIT.
It's like, this is 2.5 weeks ago that we're talking about, so I can't.
If only I had some sort of box in front of me that could bring up all the information in the known world.
Yeah, bring it up. Bring it up. StarTribune.com/beer bracket. But we had a field of 16. I'll just talk while you're doing that. We had a field of 16. Next year we're going to do it again because we ended up having more than 57,000 people vote, which is a little bit mind-boggling to me. I kind of, when we were having our initial conversations about it, and got to tell you, not everybody in our features department is especially sports inclined, believe it or not.
But they are beer inclined.
But I had to tell people will vote. I promise somebody will vote. And we had 57,000, so we're going to do it again next year, and I think we're going to do the whole shebang, like 64. Yeah. And I think we're going to make it, instead of breweries, we're going to make it individual beers.
Oh, that'd be good.
So we'll have people nominate the beers that they want, and we'll come up with our field that way. And then we're thinking even like doing our regionals based on styles. We can have like a Belgian regional and like a dark.
We have a Gulch region.
And we might even, to be really controversial, because we love controversy, have like a Wisconsin regional. What if a Wisconsin beer won it all? I mean, there might be fires in the streets, turned cars.
Well, there are a lot of voters in Hudson. All right, so it looked like Shell's won as a 9 seed.
Shell's won as a 9 seed. Some people may have argued about how much of an upset that truly was, but in our bracket, according to our reader votes, they were originally a 9 seed.
Yeah, they took down the number 1 seed.
They took down Surly. They took down Bent Paddle, who was our number 2 seed. So there was like some pretty serious drama in this tournament, in this beer tournament.
Also,
I don't know.
Castle Danger.
Castle Danger, like what? They had some loyal following. Yep, they were the runner-up.
Yep.
And they had some pretty serious. We don't have like the percentages that they won by on our bracket here, but they like destroyed some of their matchups.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I'm trying to think of the teams that were beyond the 16.
Yep.
But I mean, like, we've got like another interesting one. Copper Trail.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Copper Trail?
I have not. Oh, Insight Brewing didn't make the field.
Insight?
Yeah.
You're right. So Insight was one of them.
They won the NIT, though.
They probably won the NIT. When this gets really big, we're going to have an NIT. We're going to have a secondary.
Oh. And then have a CIT. It's going to be good.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a, what's the .com one?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah. We're going to go down there.
Now,
down that road.
Is it torturous talking about this much beer because
CBI? There we go.
You don't get to have any.
Yeah. It's a little bit torturous because we had a lot of beer sent to our office.
Yeah.
A lot of beer. I gave it to our designers.
Yeah.
I gave it to our digital editors. I gave it to our photographers. And I was like, going home empty-handed.
Yeah. There's so much you had to give it to the newspaper delivery boys.
Yeah.
Like, here you go, Johnny.
Right. Here to the janitor. Take some beer.
Do kids still have paper routes?
Yes, they do.
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
That's awesome.
You know what? I get my paper from like a 65-year-old man.
Yeah.
So
in a van?
Yes.
Because I feel like that's way more common. The guy in the van driving around.
Maybe they don't have paper routes anymore. Maybe you're right. Because here's the problem is it used to be like I had a paper route when I had a couple paper routes when I was a kid. That was the very early beginnings of Amelia's tenure in the newspaper business. And you walked along the streets and you threw a newspaper at every house because what weirdo didn't get the newspaper?
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, you got one here, and you got one like 6 blocks away.
You got one in Brooklyn Park, and then you got one in Brooklyn Center.
One in Brooklyn Park.
So we got to book it.
It's got this one guy who's doing all of Minneapolis. I'm painting a really terrible picture, but everybody please go subscribe.
Everyone's on digital.
Yeah. Everyone's on digital, but that's killing us. You know that, right?
Well, just because the ad rates are a fraction of what they were in print.
Yes. Microscopic.
Yeah. But you are gluten-free.
I'm gluten-free.
But not because you're trying to be cool. It's because
I am super cool, so let's not be mistaken about that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm celiac. Found out in 2012. And I was actually super excited, believe it or not, when I found out because I was really sick. Yeah. I thought I was really sick. I thought I had something really bad and scary. And I was going through testing for like a year. And then it turned out...
What did you think you had?
I mean, they were testing me for all kinds of, like, MLS and all kinds of...
Wait, the realtor listing?
Like, multiple sclerosis?
Oh, no. Oh, that's my bad.
Yeah, all these, kind of like scary conditions and degenerative stuff. And
what were your symptoms? Well,
I had
before WebMD, like what were your actual symptoms?
I had very wide-ranging symptoms, and the thing that's tricky to diagnose about celiac is you can have this very varying symptoms. The symptom that most people have is stomach issues, obviously. And I had that, but I had so many other symptoms that I think it distracted my doctors for a long time. So, and I think I also didn't really get serious about going to the doctor regularly until I was really sick. So the fatigue was actually the worst part of it for me. That was like a dark phase of my life. I would just go to work, come home, and sleep, and I did nothing else because I was so exhausted. And
was this when you were covering the Gophers?
Yeah, it was like early on. And it was I think it was my first or second year on the beat. It might have been my first year on the beat. Terrible timing, really.
Maybe the team was just so bad that it just put you asleep.
Right. They gave
catatonic.
me celiac. And I started to get like numbness and tingling in my limbs, and I started throwing up every meal. And one of the things that was really strange is everything tasted like cardboard. My taste buds really stopped being very functional.
That's a really suck for a gourmand like yourself.
I have always been such a food person, and I just remember when my boyfriend at the time knew it was serious is when we went out to eat, and I was like, I can't taste anything. I don't want to eat any of this.
And he's like, Amelia, that's $200 worth of saffron.
Yeah. We just ordered these popovers. And I'm like, literally, the popovers were killing me. Like eyesight stuff, migraines. It was super wide ranging, and it's a hereditary thing, and I do have it in my family. And as it turns out, I have it on my father's side. His mom has it, and she has the same sort of wide-ranging symptoms as me. So it just kind of depends. But I think because it was so weird and crazy and all over the place, I went to the doctor bi-weekly for about a year and a half before we figured out what it was. And then it was like, oh, I just can't eat bread? I'm going to live? This is a good day. So, and then it was like I plummeted again because I didn't really quite understand what gluten was at first. And I was like, all right, I can't eat bread. This is a big hit. But I'm going to take it. And, there's gluten-free bread and stuff, but it's not that great.
Except it's like $9. It's in the freezer section. It tastes like crap.
It's getting a lot better. But it has changed a lot. I was diagnosed in early, January of 2012. So it's changed a lot since then. But even then it was, whatever. But I hadn't quite figured out that gluten was in beer yet. And I remember, so this was early on if it was 2012, it was my first year covering the Gophers. And, I was already trying to adapt to that beat life. And I was in Michigan State. I was at Michigan State, East Lansing, first trip with known celiac disease.
Oh.
And I don't know if you've ever been to East Lansing, but there is nothing there for a person who is fully capable of eating everything. The options are very limited.
You're telling me that a dirty college town doesn't have full gluten-free options?
Some of them are pretty good, actually, in the Big Ten. I found some favorites, but East Lansing is not one of them.
Well, what are you talking about? We got Little Caesars and we got Keystone Lac.
Are we in the South now?
I don't know why.
Are we back in North Carolina?
I don't know why Michigan State people are from Alabama.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this night I'm there. I'm digging into the reality of having celiac. I can't find anything to eat. Can we curse on this show?
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't find a damn thing to eat. That was the calmest curse
that was
it'll get worse.
That was like Southern. I don't mean to be improper, but I'll say damn. A damn
I
hill
work for the
memory.
Star Tribune. I feel like I need to protect our legacy of a very modest... Anyway, couldn't find a damn thing to eat. And so I just went to this really cool beer store I knew about that had all these can by cans that you could buy of beers all over the map, and I just bought.
You're just gonna drink your dinner.
I was just gonna drink my dinner, and I went back. I brought like 3 beers. Went back to my hotel. Was FaceTiming with my then boyfriend, and moaning about how I couldn't find anything to eat, and celiac, I can't find anything to eat. And I said, I just am gonna drink this beer, and he said, well, babe, I think beer's got gluten in it. And it was like the end of my world.
Now, this was like 2012? All right, so it's not like we were on Encarta Windows 95. I mean, you could just boop, bop, bop, boop.
Yes. Yeah. I was very new. I had figured it out like the previous week.
I'm surprised the doctor didn't be like, oh, yeah, bread and beer are the main ones, and no pasta.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hadn't thought it through.
Yeah. Oh, or did you have the ringing in your ear, like on TVs and movies, like when the person's diagnosed with cancer, they just have a sharp ringing?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. No bread, no more bread, no more.
Now, how have you adjusted?
Pretty good. Like now, my eyes tune out anything that I can't eat on a menu, so I just don't even consider it as an option.
You can have all the rice you want.
I can have all the rice I want. The things I miss are beer. I miss being able to just go to a place and like have a beer and not saying, sorry, do you have any gluten-free beers on the menu?
Yeah.
And being that person. Or, I'm sorry, what do you have for cider?
I feel like there should be, like the Scarlet Letter, there should be a giant C that you can wear if you're actually celiac. So then people know.
Oh, she is one of those. Poor thing.
No,
let's all feel sorry for her and not make fun of her.
No. That you're not a douchebag when you're asking for the gluten-free menu.
Maybe we should make the douchebags wear the D's and not the celiac with the C.
We can have a lot of D's. I'm trying to save on printing costs here. Trying to workshop this, Amelia.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a little bit publicly shameful, don't you think? But whatever.
When has that never not worked out?
It's true. Public shaming is very effective.
Now, you're a big chef. Where did that start?
I've always loved to cook. I come from a cooking family. My mom is a huge baker, and she had us like entering cooking contests when we were like 9 and entering things in the fair. I won my first best of show with a jam in the fair when I was 9.
What was the jam?
It was a strawberry jam.
Oh.
And I beat my father. He had been entering jams in the fair. We have a very like jammy, homey, cookie family.
The young Rayno, she's got pectin in her veins.
Well, now we're Irish. What is going on? I think we need to pull up a world map here.
I'm pretty much at like whatever goes when it goes to that.
Whatever strikes at the moment.
Like, you were warned beforehand of millions of movie references coming your way. Also,
we haven't got any of those yet.
Yeah, right. I'll have to shorten them in the second half.
Yeah.
Also, randomly not accurate accents as well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't worried about that, but now I know.
Now, so the cooking thing. What's your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook is whatever is in the fridge. And I say that sounds like such a cop-out. Maybe it is. Yeah. But I like being challenged. Like, I like to pretend that I'm on...
Like Chopped.
I like to pretend I'm on Chopped. And be like, what are you going to make? You've got some 3-week-old feta. You've got some slightly stale tortilla chips. You've been out of town for 2 weeks. The lettuce is wilted. What are you going to do? Make your move.
And frozen
some combination
pig penis.
Yeah. And frozen pig penis?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Deep in the freezer.
Yeah. Don't know why I bought that one.
It was a gift.
I bought that one while I was drunk. It was a gift from those people who love me.
And there's something therapeutic of when you're cooking, just completely clearing out the fridge or just using whatever you have on hand.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with like clearing out the fridge, and I think that's because growing up we had an overstuffed fridge.
Yeah.
Like my mother, I think, tried to just stuff the fridge to the brim, and it gave me a little anxiety.
Oh, did she call it the ice box? Was it that old-fashioned?
No, I don't think that's a Southern thing.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Do you have a lot of sweet tea growing up?
We did, yeah. I mean, North Carolina.
Also, Carolina BBQ. Where does it fit in on the pantheon of barbecue?
It's
region?
obviously number one.
Yeah. That was a layup.
I can't believe you asked.
Yeah. Well, what's number two?
I made some last night.
Yeah. What's number two?
Number two, I'm going to say Kansas City. I like the mustardy thing, you know? Yeah. Texas barbecue, I think, is like way down there. I'm not a huge fan.
It's got to be brisket. I feel like everything else, they're a little
Texas
deficient.
barbecue, to me, is like a bit of a write-off for like everything else. For like, we don't really have a firm style. For like, we're just going to put a bunch of tomato sauce on things.
Yep. All right, so what's Carolina's best meat?
Pork.
It's a pulled pork?
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork.
With the vinegar, red chili sauce.
Yeah, the vinegar sauce, I feel like more people should get into that. Because what most people do with barbecue sauce is like the sweeter, the more sugar in it, the better. It's like, nah, you need a little bit of the acid.
It's super simple. It's the most simple sauce out there. It's basically apple cider vinegar, red chili flakes, a little bit of brown sugar, maybe to offset all that tartness. But that's like it.
Yeah.
Salt.
I will
put it on top.
I will put in two regional specialties. Memphis ribs. I think they're the king of ribs.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like Memphis
Baltimore's burnt ends.
Okay. I do like burnt ends.
Yeah.
I like burnt. I think we should make a barbecue bracket now.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many seeds we could have. I mean, 8 at the most.
They'd all have to be 1 seeds. Yeah.
This isn't going to go very well.
See, that's the great thing. It's like barbecue is like pizza and also beer and also like make a whoopie. Like they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
There's no 16 seeds all up in here.
Well, you have to seed them, but you can seed them by voting. You know.
I suppose.
But then the problem is, where are you doing this? Because if we're doing it here, what do you think the leaning is here? It's not going to be North Carolina. It's not going to be Texas. Maybe Kansas City or maybe Texas, because that's like the most.
It might be.
That's the most passed around, versatile barbecue.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you get in stores if you go to the. Although Texans would probably slice me for saying that. That's the stuff you get in stores?
Yeah.
No, it's not, Amelia.
Oh, that's the guy who gets his salsa from New York City.
Yeah.
New York, you remember those?
Yeah.
That was a great commercial.
New York City?
Now, so get back to this, Sally. What's the thing that you've adjusted the most in your cooking? Or is there something that you miss that you come to replacement?
To like gluten-free stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I try to make everything that I can't get when I'm out at home. So, like, I do a lot of fried stuff. Yeah. Especially in the summer. I'll do, like, a lot of fried seafood.
Ooh.
Like...
Nope, we should be good to go.
Do a lot of, fried seafood, and I'll make... I'm not as much of a baker, but I'm trying to sort of do that a little bit more. But I do, like, anything that I can't typically get on a menu, I will try to master at home. That is, I mean, most things you can actually make gluten-free. The things you really can't are like croissants and donuts. Maybe you can make donuts, but it's not going to be like a real fluffy,
it's gonna be ass.
filled.
Yeah.
Did you say it's going to be ass?
It's going to be ass, yeah.
Well, they've got like those like spongy, I think they call them cake donuts, but they're not like the powdered sugar cakey donuts that you had out of a bag growing up.
Plus, there's always something
They're like
missing.
Spongy. Well, there's definitely something missing. It's gluten.
Yeah, it's like it's like when you look at Ben Affleck and Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
Like Ben Affleck is all put together, and I know Casey Affleck won an Oscar, but whatever.
Here come the movie references.
You just look at him and be like, it's pretty close,
Almost
but
there.
there's something missing.
Yeah.
There's something not there.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are not even pretty close. Like croissants. I tried.
Yeah.
I actually tried.
Yeah.
Those are hard. Anything with like a lot of texture is very hard.
Anything French in my
anything French.
Yeah, in my cooking travels, like anything French is difficult to do.
However, like pastry crust is pretty easy, and you can do a pretty good one. And like you can make a biscuit. It's not going to be the best biscuit you've ever made, but
Yeah. We just had some deliciousness brought to our table. Amelia, what'd you get? You went customized.
I went customized. Yeah. I have like a turkey burger with the works on it here. Turkey is the only thing remotely healthy about this. Otherwise, it's covered in cheese and bacon and mayo.
Onions,
pickles,
flavonoids are good probiotics.
Onions. I'm going with the Bad Breath burger.
Yeah.
Oh, jalapenos. Sans bun, of course.
It's a good thing we're 3 feet away. I, of course, got the breakfast blue suit Cajun fries. We're trying to ready to go. Yeah, we're going to take a little break, but before we do, we're talking about the Blue Door. Get your ass down here on Friday for the fish fry. They got, how many fries are left in Lent? 2? 3? 2 or 3.
Okay.
Either way, if it's 2, definitely get down here. If it's 3, take your time. Down to Como, University on Como and Longfellow. Those 2 locations are doing the fish fry every single Friday. $12 all you can eat cod. $14 pitchers of Indeed B-side Pilsner. Delicious. Get your name in a drawing if you get them both. Or just head down to the St. Paul one and get yourself a burger just like Amelia and I. TheBDP.com. All right, we're right back. More Amelia Rayno of the Strib. So 2016 sucked for the Vikings, and also for a number of other reasons I heard, but it's okay. 2017 is upon us. Vikings fans, let's get going. All off-season, Purple for the Win coming right at you through free agency, the draft, and OTAs and training camp. Here we go. Get the show on 1500 ESPN, Podcast One, and the Podcast One app. And coming back into the Blue Door Pub Thunderdome, we got Amelia Rayno in, and apparently
we're going there.
All right, so in a previous life, you think that you were a man.
I was a dude.
Expand.
Well, some of this could get uncomfortable.
It's okay.
No, I have a lot of dreams in which I am a dude. And I feel like I have specific memories being a dude.
Anything specific in her?
You know, like, okay, so in what memories or experiences would it be obvious what sex you are? Like sex.
Conjugal, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So maybe some of that.
Now... But so
we've gone down a turn.
Are you disturbed by it, or are you just kind of like?
I used to be.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm like, well,
I can see the appeal from the other side now.
I like sports. I like whiskey. Maybe it all makes sense. I don't know.
Do you have a time frame on it, or can you see like is there like player piano music in the background and sarsaparilla, like
what do you mean
Old West
a time
style?
Frame?
Like
before I was born.
Oh, all right. Well, like previous lifetime.
Life, yeah.
Or like
it's not like current.
Like a Saint Marie de Mont brothel right before you head to the front lines.
Oh, like what year is it?
Yeah.
No, that's a great question, but it does not feel like very long ago. You know, it feels like maybe it was in the 80s.
Do you ever?
No, that's when I was alive. Wait a minute. That's a really great question because I don't feel like there's not like a nice sepia tint on my memories, if that's what you mean.
Now, ever since seeing the movie Inception, I've been trying to get into lucid dreaming where there's actually ways that you can do it where you like look at your hands never look right in the dream. And if you know that you're dreaming, then you can basically do like do whatever. It's like Grand Theft Auto on God mode. So you should do that. Like next time.
I've tried that actually because I am a crazy dreamer. I dream constantly. I've talked to my doctor about it. That's how much I dream. I'm like, I need to stop dreaming because I wake up and it's like I've just lived out a movie, and then it's like I have to go to work now.
Is it exhausting?
It's exhausting. Yeah. It's gotten a little bit better. I am actually on some like meds to like make me stop dreaming so much.
Melatonin?
Melatonin doesn't do anything for me.
There's a lot of people that melatonin has no effect on, but me, I can touch like 2 milligrams and bedtime for Gonzo.
I have no problem falling asleep. I just, and the other amazing thing is I just dream constantly, and the amazing thing is I can wake up from a dream, like go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever, go back, fall asleep, slip back seamlessly into this dream.
Like the lady
It's like, and it's very movie-like.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, there's a full plot, there's detail.
Yep.
It's intense.
So Martha Washington is just waiting for you when you get back into the dream. She's like,
where have you been? And I'm like, I had to pee.
Come back to bed, George, and cross the Delaware.
I'm not always a man in my dream. Oftentimes I am just Amelia. But yeah, so I've had enough dreams of being a man, and also just like I feel like I have, those we kind of talked a little bit about deja vu on the break, and I have a lot of deja vu moments that I feel like not so much tied to being a man, but just tied to something I feel that I haven't felt in my actual life, like remembering an event that didn't happen. So I think, well, that must have happened in my old life.
Like signing a Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, like clearly.
Like stealing the Declaration of Independence. No, wait, no, he's alive.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and break the news. I was Benjamin Franklin.
Oh.
In my last life.
Benjamin Franklin, quietly very freaky.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, like, secretly brilliant. Well, not secretly, but very overtly brilliant.
I am also secretly brilliant.
Yeah. Thoughts on making the turkey the national bird instead of the bald eagle?
It would be a shame if we killed them every year to eat them for Thanksgiving.
Well,
I think whatever your national bird is, you probably can't eat it. Well, so you have to take that. I just had a turkey burger.
Yeah. Well, it's a federal crime to kill a bald eagle.
Yeah.
Which is
they're also endangered,
and they also taste terrible. But I want to be able to know that, firsthand. And so I'm really mad at Fatty Four Eyes Benjamin Franklin for denying me that luxury of killing a bald eagle with my bare hands and then roasting it over a spit.
And how did Benny Franklin?
Well, he wanted the
deny
turkey.
This? He wanted the turkey. Okay.
Oh no, I should support him.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the flaw in your logic here. I don't know that the national bird being the turkey would prevent you, or would ensure that you would be able to kill a bald eagle, because they would still be extinct.
I mean,
I'm sorry, endangered. They would still be endangered. You're not allowed to kill endangered species. I really think it's more about that than the whole national bird thing.
Let's make this smooth segue into travel. Now, during the break, I wanted you to name off all the countries that you've visited.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the floor.
All right, here we go. It's not like that impressive. Spain.
Canada, North Canada.
Okay, Canada. I've actually never been to Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, I might go next month. So Canada, USA.
Yeah.
Bahamas is its own country. Puerto Rico.
Barely.
Puerto Rico, actually, no. It's
protectorate.
So yeah, so that doesn't count. Scratch that. Cuba. Moving over to Europe. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the Caribbean that would count. I don't think so. Europe, we've got... Sorry, this is really slow. France, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, Iceland, Netherlands, Sweden,
it's like
Denmark.
we're chasing Carmen Sandiego.
That's so much fun right now, isn't it? That's pretty close. And then over in Asia, Japan, Thailand, and Cambodia. The end. Maybe Africa next year.
No, so Cuba.
Yeah.
Culture shock?
Favorite place I've ever been.
Really?
Most incredible trip I've ever been on. And I actually just had a pretty hell of a good time in Southeast Asia. But Cuba, that trip will stay with me. That was quite a journey. And we're going to be able to read all about it in Sunday's Star Tribune.
That's a good
travel
plug.
Section.
That's
Not
a good
bad.
plug. What was the biggest misconception that was proved wrong that you had going in?
Well, I think these were my impressions going down to Cuba. I thought I was going to see a lot of 1950s, 1960s cars. Mm-hmm. It was basically going to be like a drummed-up version of Costa Rica.
Except no zip liners.
With like this really nice Instagram filter over the whole thing. And that's kind of true. It is a beautiful country, and the old cars are there, and they are amazing. Yeah. There's actually it's amazing how many of them there are. And I talk to people who had cars, and they're like, if you have a car in your family, it's just passed down and passed down. And they take such care of them. It's incredible how good of shape they're in. But they're all dying of pollution because those cars are like chugging black smoke into the air.
And the babies don't have car seats.
The boats don't have life jackets. There's not really a whole lot of safety considered over there. I actually went down and I had the shit scared out of me by people going down like, Zika, you're going to get Zika. If you don't apply bug repellent 3 times a day, you're probably going to get Zika.
Joke's on you. I wanted a baby with a tennis head.
We don't know what it does to you yet. Now I guess they're saying it kills brain cells in adults. So
so does a lot of things. I mean, drinking a Diet Coke probably does the same thing.
True. Fair enough.
Oh, that was good.
Down there, they were like, Zika? What are you talking about? I actually didn't see hardly any mosquitoes. But so what surprised me? I think like the middle of the country surprised me. Havana, I went to Havana last. Mm-hmm. I visited 4 different cities, and I went to Havana last. And I think going to it last was almost a bit of a disappointment because Havana was what I expected, really.
Was it like Dirty Dancing 2?
It was like Dirty Dancing 2. Just had to slide another one in there.
At nighttime, at least, yeah.
It felt like what Havana, I guess, should feel like. And it felt touristy, you know. And then the rest of the country, well, not the rest of the country, but 2 of the cities that I really went to go see didn't feel like that. And I guess that is what really stuck with me. One of the things that really stuck with me, I was just in Southeast Asia, and I was like going around Cambodia and like trying my damnedest to get away from tourists and trying to find the most like remote island that we could go to and somewhere where we weren't hearing English, and it was like we couldn't do it.
That Castaway Island.
We couldn't get there. And even in like these small towns where you feel like aren't really written about that much, there was still a lot of stuff that was totally catered to tourists, and there was still a lot of really westernized things there, at restaurants and with pictures of everything on the menu, and like McDonald's and English speakers everywhere, and Cuba was not that way. Outside of Havana, it did not feel like there was a damn thing that was catering to tourists.
It's good that you got there early, because in a couple of years that place is going to look like Sarasota.
It is. It's so scary. I mean, that's so true. And that's a little bit about what I write about, in that, there's a part of that change that's really sad, and there's also a part of that change that should be happy, because there are a lot of problems in Cuba. There's a lot of struggles that the people who live there go through regularly.
But they have free universal health care.
They do, and they have amazing education.
Now, were you down there before or after Castro took the dirt nap?
After. It was pretty soon after. They did like an initial 11-day booze ban, and I was there like 2 days after that ended, and I was like, thank God, because I got my rum on. You have to.
Did you get your cigar on?
Yes. I bought as any good Cuban would, I bought a box of cigars on the black market, and for like $50. Yes. And took back a box of cigars, took back a bottle of rum, took back some coffee, all the staples, really. But so they had the 11-day period of no alcohol, thank God, was over. But they had, they still have a year of banned dancing.
Well,
no dancing.
Was this Footloose?
You're not allowed to celebrate or be happy because Fidel Castro is dead. And there were signs all over the buildings. You know, and keep in mind that I was there like within 2 weeks of his passing, and there were all these signs constructed everywhere that said "Gracias, Fidel." We did dance against the government wishes.
Do you think that was sarcastic, "Gracias, Fidel," just like "Thanks, Obama"?
It's funny because some of them just said "Gracias, Fidel," and some of them said "Gracias" in quotation marks. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's good. The Cubans are like Minnesotans. They're getting in on the passive aggressiveness. It's good.
No, I think it's a really complicated relationship that a lot of Cubans had with Fidel. And I think a lot of that is generational. You know, some of the older generation, I think, does feel really committed, dedicated, or attached, at least, to him.
To Fidel?
And
wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think there was a true mourning. You know, and some of it was staged, and some of it was because it's the right thing to do, and people feel like they had to. But I did feel like there was a true mourning there, and a true just like sense of countryhood or something that people had to acknowledge this, and it's kind of it's an interesting dynamic because for a lot of the elder people, when he came into power, people really thought that he was going to be their hero.
Yeah.
And I think maybe rather than,
he was the hero before he got into all the atrocities.
Right.
Things like an Augustus or a Machiavelli has to do afterwards to shore up his reign. Everyone focuses on that as opposed to
and now we're going to stay here for the next 7 decades. But the younger generation, I felt like, is not was a lot more skeptical of that, and you know, the younger people that I talked to were just kind of like, well, we're supposed to be sad, but we're not sad. You know? Not necessarily like down with Fidel and down with the Castros, but also being a little bit more hyper aware and sensitive, I think, of the position that they're in. You know, one of the interesting things about the people I met is I feel like they're very, very aware of pop culture and American culture. And
Ricky Martin, he come down, he has all the women.
Yes. And also, at one point, I was having dinner with some different guys, and they were, like, naming all of the American actors that they knew, which was just kind of funny, because then you really had, like, they don't get a lot of movies down there, so you have, like, a really, like, heavy early 2000s influence. But I'm like, oh, The Hangover. We like that movie.
They haven't gotten 2 and 3 yet, so that's good.
Yeah, right. Eventually, they'll get those, and they'll get over it, but...
Yeah. They got Mel Gibson's Braveheart. It's like, that Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Good egg.
I think he was named. But, you know, so I think that the younger generation is definitely hyper aware of the pop culture and to some extent, like, American life, and in that way, more aware of what they're missing and what they, you know, essentially can't have. You know, they're not... They can leave, but it is extremely hard to leave.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to be good at baseball to leave.
And you have to pretty much be good at something.
Did you go?
You pay a lot of money.
Did you go to a baseball game?
I did.
How was it?
It was awesome.
It's kind of cool that that's their religion, since they were so isolated for so long.
Yeah.
That was that baseball's their thing. Baseball
is totally their thing, and. I went to a game in Matanzas, which is... Thank you. One of their baseball team is amongst the leaders, or was last summer, or last winter. Yeah, they're the reverse season.
Yeah.
Amongst the leaders of the Cuban National Series. And it was pretty hilarious, actually. The heckling goes both ways at a Cuban baseball game.
Oh, you heckle both
so
teams?
You heckle the players, and the players heckle you back. And
Oh, that kind of explains why Yasiel Puig is such a dick. That could explain it.
Yes, that could explain it. Right, because it's actually like the stands were pretty close to the field. Mm-hmm. The players could hear you, and they would shoot it right back.
That's pretty awesome.
It was hilarious. At one point, actually, one of the guys that was sitting next to me picked up a trash can that was in the stands and like held it over the overhang, was threatening to throw it on top of this opposing player who was in the on-deck circle. But the most amazing thing about that exchange was at the end of it, he like reached over the overhang and the fan reached down and they like shook hands and and they had a grand old moment. But it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Smooth segue to Asia and food poisoning.
Yes.
How'd that come about, and what was the dish do you think that did it?
That came about by having a really long travel day and eating somewhere that I would have never normally eaten if I wasn't traveling with people, and they were like, "We're hungry."
Arby's?
No, it was a resort.
Ah.
I don't know for sure that was the place. There's also a chance that it was this tiny little shack in the middle of nowhere on this remote island, but I refuse to believe that was the case.
It's a ceviche food truck, I tell you.
Yeah. So I was traveling with a friend from Belgium, and we had met up with a couple of guys from Australia, so they were kind of heading in the same general direction with us. So we were traveling with them at the moment, and we sort of knew this. We were in Cambodia, and we were going to get on the coast somewhere, and we hadn't seen the ocean yet, and so we were going to find something on the ocean, but we didn't want like a super resorty place, and we wanted to find something kind of.
You didn't want to go to Sandals, Cambodia.
We didn't want to go to Sandals, Cambodia, and so we just kept on like following this thread of conversation that we would hear everywhere we went, and we just kept on like following it further and further, like off the shore. Like first, someone told me to go to Chinookville, which sounds like an American place, but it's actually a Cambodian city.
That sounds like a euphemism. Like, and
we're
doing that. I'm taking my old lazy lady to Chinookville.
I think it was like off the beaten path maybe like 3 years ago, and it's become on the beaten path now. And then so as we were like progressing there, someone else was like, no, what you really need to do is go to Koh Rong, an island off of Chinookville.
That's where King Kong lives.
Yes,
Skull Island.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, that's where one of the Survivors was filmed. That's their claim to fame.
Is that the one with Jimmy Johnson?
I don't know. Haven't watched the show since.
I have no idea how that show is so popular.
1995. It's been on for a long time.
Well,
maybe not 95.
Truncated version of the story. I have a theory that CBS has high ratings because old people can't change their TV, and the default channel on most TVs is 3 or 4. And that's usually CBS?
Mm-hmm.
I digress. Good.
Okay. That's a good theory.
Yeah.
It's not bad. So then en route to Koh Rong, someone was like, no, there's this other island off of Koh Rong Samalong, that you have to go to. We're like, we're going to go to Koh Rong Samalong, and then we go to like the large village on that island, and as we were on our way there, someone was like, that's cool, but if you really want to see something, you go to the other side of the island, and there's just like this little fishing village that you can stay in. So we're like, we're going to get to the fishing village. But we had to take a boat into the larger village of Koh Rong Samalong and then figure out a way there, because there was no roads on the island. It was just jungle and a couple of villages around the beaches.
Yep.
So we had to convince like a fisherman to take us there in his little boat, and we had to like wade out into the water to his boat with our packs on our back. But before that, we were so starved by this point. We had flown from Siem Reap that day, and then gone to Chinookville, and then gone to the other island, and then gone to this island. So we were like,
it sounds like the beginning of a horror film.
We're hungry.
Like
yeah,
Hostel.
It does, right? And then we were desperate.
Human Centipede.
And so we went with this old man into his basement. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that was legit. Like, you probably got more than food poisoning.
Yeah. No, we went to this, like, resort and ordered a bunch of seafood, which is extremely average and probably poisoned. So then we made it to the second village, which was absolutely incredible. Definitely felt like far away from everything we had been to. And that night we ate at this restaurant on the dock. The dock was just like this cement block, and there was all these like houses that were attached to it on these like rickety wooden stilts, and there was like a little restaurant there, and they just had little like low wooden community tables that you tucked a rug under and sat under, and you could buy all you can eat fish barbecue buffet basically. But they were, you know, making it like as we were grabbing it on the dock, fish that had come in that day, $6, everything you can eat.
Wow.
But you get charged for any leftovers, so you're not allowed to have anything on your plate.
So it's like I can eat sushi here.
Because they would put all the money that they made off of people, off of Americans not eating all their food, and send that money to like the local school project.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cute. Cute idea. So anyway, we ate there, and I refuse to believe that place, that gym of a place, was what gave us food poisoning. But we all woke up in the middle of the night, run into our outhouse, and this is a toilet that had to be manually flushed with like a large vat of water over and over again.
All right,
so just imagine like having food poisoning and having to self-flush. And keep in mind that it was 95 degrees and we did not have any kind of air conditioning or whatever. We just had mosquito nets. We're in a hut. So we were like languishing the next entire day on these cots with these mosquito nets hanging over us, rushing off to our little outhouse bathroom, self-flushing.
The only way that this could sound more like hell is if someone was trying to explain Game of Thrones to you at the same time. Like that would be hell. That would be Dante would come over and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
While I was like in the bathroom being food poisoned. That was the best verb I could have used for that.
But you refuse to believe it was the super fresh fish prepared by the family. You think it was the resort?
I think it was the resort.
Yeah.
I actually think that the only time I got sick when I was in Cuba was from a resort. So, you know, resorts aren't all that cracked up to be, folks. Yeah. I trust people more than I trust, like, companies, you know?
Well, maybe there's something there. Maybe
there's care. I felt like there was care and time and concern put into the food that we had on the dock, and then the stuff at the resort. We were just nameless blobs that wandered through.
Or, you know, resort kitchens can get kind of sloppy. Maybe some gluten flew in.
I would have thought that. I actually thought that when I woke up in the middle of the night, but then my other 3 travelers were as deathly sick as me. So
secretly
not the case.
Celiac, all of you.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about like fresh seafood, like super fresh stuff, that
ended up being actually one of my favorite places on the trip. Despite that,
super fresh seafood, like eating fresh oysters with lemon, horseradish, a little bit of Tabasco, and you're going to get...
Okay, first of all, you just put way too much on that poor little oyster.
Just a little bit.
No,
come
on. No, all 3?
Yeah.
That's out of control.
No, I'm not into, like, putting the champagne stuff or oysters. No,
the champagne stuff is not bad.
But you're going to get food poisoning from that one time in 200, right?
No, you will never get food poisoning from an oyster.
It.
You will never get food poisoning from an oyster. And here's why.
Why?
Have you ever smelled a bad oyster?
No.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
Because you would know.
Yeah.
You would not be like, was it bad?
Yeah.
Was it good? It's not like a bottle of wine where you're like, is it corked? My nose is not that developed. My palate is not that good. I'm not really sure. If you open a bad oyster, that shit is filling up the entire restaurant, the entire room. Everyone in there is going, where's the bad oyster? You will never eat one of those. It's like eating a bad egg. You're just not going to do it.
Well, one side of me says, yeah, we're not going to eat that. The other side of me is like, we did pay $6 for it.
Also, I have a really good solution. Drink alcohol.
Yeah?
You know, it's originally why they drank vodka when they ate oysters, is to kill all of the bacteria.
You ever had caviar?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I like caviar.
It's not really my thing.
Have you had it with potato chips and champagne?
I have not.
That's the way to do it.
I haven't been part of a Russian oligarch's
I did this.
court.
I did not go out this New Year's. Well, actually, I ended up going out for a little bit, but mostly I sat on my couch with a large bowl of potato chips, a little thing of caviar, some creme fraiche, and a bottle of bubbly to the face. So you've got like your potato chip is your shell, You put a little bit of caviar in there, a little dollop of the creme fraiche on top, little now, and then pop that sucker in, wash it down with champagne, and I'll be damned if that's not one of the most delicious things out there.
And then you're like...
Close to oysters. Oysters are my number one.
Now, how do we kill James Bond?
If I had to choose a meal to eat before they were going to kill me because I couldn't come up with an appropriate NCAA sports model, it would be oysters on the half shell, stone crab, and caviar with potato chips.
Have you ever shucked oysters?
I have. It is hard work.
It's a bitch.
It is really hard.
I see that I have to do it all the time on my old
I'm not good at it. I mean, it is a true art.
You have to have a good glove, and you have to have a well-worn knife with a little bit of a curve on it.
And you have to be willing not to be able to use your shucking arm the next day for the next 4 days.
Well, I do mine a little different. I was coming from the back with back and like a little bit of an angle at like a 45.
Yeah, that's how you that's how it should be done.
Yeah, most people don't do it like that. Most people just go straight in and just like try to...
You can't really do that. Yeah.
No, you have to slice it in the tendon. It's like when you're separating chicken, like the leg from the thigh. It's better to get in the tendon rather than just trying to... Anyways.
Yeah, get the tendons. Hit it where it hurts.
Wow, time has already flew by, but I want to touch on a couple local things because, we're sort of a local show. All right, so I'm going to run a couple of categories by you.
All right.
Give me your local recommendation since you are a purveyor of local establishments, happy hours, and the like. So give me the best local spot for coffee, just personal.
Yes. Well, of course, it's all very biased. Favorite place for coffee is probably 5 Watt. I have a lot of favorite coffee shops. Actually, you know what? I might need to take that back. I really like the new Penny's downtown. It's on Washington.
Okay.
Penny's is great. I love 5 Watt. Yeah, I'm going to stick with those two as my top.
I like that every new coffee house just looks like HGTV came in and just like force vomited all over the place.
Yeah, they're all very pretty. I mean, but everything new is very pretty now, It's like kind of a thing.
Best old-fashioned.
Best old-fashioned, I'm going to go with Butcher and the Boar.
Oh,
yeah,
pretty easy one.
They've got hell of a bourbon whiskey collection there, and they know what they're doing with those old-fashioned cocktails.
Yeah, old-fashioned. It may sound old-fashioned, but just booze and some bitters.
Booze, bitters. Drop a cherry in there.
You're good.
Drop an orange slice in there.
You're good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you're not going to get scurvy. You got your fruit for the day. It's good.
There you go.
Best martini.
See, I don't know where to go with that one because I'm not really a martini drinker. I kind of used to be. If I was to drink a martini now, I would probably do it at like J.D. Hoyt's. Or what's the place across from J.D. Hoyt's that's blanking for me right now?
I don't know.
We're going to move away from this. I'm not so much of a martini drinker. In my opinion, a martini is one of the easiest things that you can make. I mean, are you putting vermouth in it, or are you not putting vermouth in it? Are you stirring it? Or are you shaking it? Put something in it, like an olive or a twist, and there's not really a whole lot of skill involved there.
Yeah, not really. There's not a lot of skill because I can make it. I'm a big gin guy.
Yeah.
So Hendrick's gin.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you.
just it's a little bit of vermouth, like just.
Yeah. I like a little vermouth in there.
Yeah, just a touch.
I feel like we went so far away from vermouth for a long time.
Actually, I don't even put mine in the chiller. I just put it in the glass and just, like roll it around a little bit.
With ice or?
No, just the vermouth in the glass. Just roll it around a little bit. And then.
Oh, after you shake it or stir it or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Hendrick's, dirty, little bit of olive juice.
Wait, you do all this separate? What is happening? How is it getting chilled?
So we'll restart. So put the Hendrick's, put a little bit of olive juice into the chiller.
Okay.
With a little ice. With the dry glass, a little bit of vermouth in the glass. Just swirl it about, make sure it gets a nice little coat. Make sure that everyone's nice and happy.
Okay.
Pour. Yeah, you're good. Also, cucumber.
Yeah.
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 That's it.
Yeah, sure. Simple.
Booze.
It's a simple drink.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically just like glorifying drinking straight gin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I approve.
Although, I have a beef with the shape of a martini glass.
Yeah, it's terrible, right?
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
It is my least favorite glassware.
Yeah.
And whoever came up with that? And then,
I don't know.
And once you drink one, you're already, kind of tipsy, and then it's like, then it's really dangerous.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put all booze in this thing in the shape of a golf tee in a very confined space with a bunch of drunk people. And go.
Yeah. And let's see how this works out. So it was a big joke, and somehow nobody got that it was a joke, and they manufactured them, and then they were like, well, it's too late. We've got all these upside-down triangles.
Where's the best oysters in town?
Meritage.
Ooh.
Yeah. By far. There's really not a lot of other oyster places in the city. I mean, there's a few places that have 1 or 2 oysters, but there's nothing else like Meritage.
You're not getting the oysters at Famous Dave's?
I'm not getting the oysters at Famous Dave's. I am interested to see what kind of raw bar this new place. There's a new place, Mercy, on Hennepin in the Chambers Hotel.
Yep.
Or Le Meridian, I guess is what it's called. And former Marin Space. Anyway, they have a big raw bar is kind of their thing. And I went there for brunch on Sunday, and they said they didn't have their raw bar set up.
Oh.
I'm like, well, if you're going to have raw bar, you better have it at brunch.
Sweet.
So I don't know about them yet, but that's part of their claim to fame, so we'll see how they do.
It's like Chuck E. Cheese without the creepy anthropomorphic robots.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Their claim to fame. Besides dirty kids and dirty ball pits.
Yeah. Sure.
The best place in town for sushi?
Kiachi.
Hey.
Well, best place in Twin Cities. Best place in Minneapolis for sushi is Kiachi. Best place in the Twin Cities, as I've recently learned, is Sushi Fix in Wayzata. Their fish is on another level. I really like Kiachi. I'm sad to say that occasionally I've had some uneven experiences with the quality of the fish.
Yeah. You go on Monday?
It's in Minnesota, man. It's a little tough. Somebody tried to argue with me the other day that it's easy because there's a lot of direct flights and it's better than trying to get it on the East Coast because it's that much closer to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, like either way, that fish is going to be on ice at least
For a
36
while.
hours.
Well, no, not 36 hours.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
36?
Yeah.
24.
If you hit it right away.
I don't know.
Yeah. Either way.
Anyway, Sushi Fix.
Taco.
Taco is a point of contention for me. I'm still waiting to find my favorite taco spot.
So it's open.
It's totally open, and I keep on trying. God, I'm blanking on the name of this place right now. It's it's on Nicollet at 40.
There's a whole lot of Mexican
Can you just sing a song for me really quick while I...
Going on a Taco John's.
Just keep doing that. Keep doing it.
Taco John's is underrated because they serve tater tots unabashedly. And they're like, oh, yeah, they're potato olays.
Somebody upstaging us right now?
Yeah, it's all good. All right.
Yeah, that's open. That's open. I've had some good tacos. I feel like I haven't had any great tacos around here. So have you outside of Taco John's?
I don't really go out a ton anymore because of the whole suburbs and marriage and kid thing.
Yeah.
So I usually just make my own tacos.
Okay.
Like, my biggest thing is the summer, I'm going to buy a spit, like a gyro spit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make tacos out that store. I'm going to make actual shawarma. And I'm going to make gyros. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay, just tell me what time, and I'll be over.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring my friends.
Damn. I'm going to be the best tacos. Shit, yeah. Best steak.
Birch steak. Yeah.
So not going old school, not going Manny's, Murray's.
I'm actually obsessed with Birch. If you ask me what my favorite restaurant is, if I'm talking more expensive restaurants, Birch. It's Birch. I love Birch. Their steaks are amazing. I actually just love everything else on the menu.
Yeah.
I'm a brunch regular there, and I often go there and don't even touch steak because everything else they have on the menu is so good. And their seafood is amazing, and they've got that amazing pizza bar underneath, too, that pumps out some really good stuff.
All right,
with gluten-free crust available.
2 questions for you, and then we'll get out of here before I have to pay.
It's turned into a club.
Before I have to pay for that Jason Derulo song.
Yeah.
Death Row Meal. What you got?
Death Row Meal.
Lighten up the electric chair, Old Sparky. What you got?
I am eating a plate of raw bar, notably oysters on the half shell and stone crab claws.
Yep.
And caviar with potato chips.
Yeah.
And can I have more?
Oh, yeah.
Can I also have like a fried oyster slider po' boy situation?
Oh.
Yeah.
You just spoke to my heart because a fried oyster po' boy is like one of my favorite things.
ever.
It truly is.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just want a bunch of seafood.
Yeah.
I want fried seafood.
Well,
and
you better
raw
commit a
seafood,
murder
fresh seafood.
along the coasts.
Yeah. So I'll go commit all my crimes in New England.
Yeah. What's your favorite dumb meal?
Dumb meal?
Yeah, like what's your favorite? Like this, it's really stupid, but it's the thing that I do. Like mine is from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like every once in a blue moon, like Wonder Bread, Oscar Mayer bologna, like the manufactured American cheese and
Mm-hmm.
mustard. Like that's a dumb meal. Or it's like it's basic. It brings back good nostalgia,
Yeah.
memories.
I don't know that I have one of those.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm like obsessed with eating and cooking and.
Yeah. You're too highbrow to have a dumb meal. My highbrow meal, my dumb meal is the caviar and potato chips.
Well, I don't really have a lot of options for dumb meals either. As a celiac, I feel like it eliminates a lot of dumb ingredients.
Oh yeah.
But growing up, here's maybe a dumb meal. I used to go over to a friend's house to play Mario Brothers on her computer, and her dad would always make us Ritz crackers with slices of cheddar cheese and pickles, and they were like hors d'oeuvres served that way. Pickle cheese crackers.
Hey, there's your dumb meal.
Yeah.
We discovered it.
So there it is. I haven't had it since.
What's coming up? Give yourself another plug.
Well, Cuba. Again, let's just do this. April 9th, this coming Sunday, in our travel section. And then shortly after, we're going to have, I'm not sure when yet, but I'm writing a story about Milwaukee, which you were kind of laughing at me before the show for being obsessed with Milwaukee.
Loves Milwaukee. She's a shill.
I love Milwaukee. I totally hadn't been there in 5 years and was pretty excited about all the change that has happened since then. I was kind of overwhelmed by the cocktail scene there.
Oh.
And I did my best to discover every cocktail.
Well, they obviously have to drink because they're like,
we're in the Midwest.
we're not in Chicago.
We're not in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be writing a story about Milwaukee's happening cocktail scene. That's coming
Awesome.
up.
Amelia Rayno, time flew by. Love to have you on. We'll have to have you back on again so we can cover that.
We haven't even talked about Bigfoot, so that's a whole other show.
Oh, we will get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's another excuse to have you back. Follow her on Twitter and Instagram at Amelia Rayno, all one word, Star Tribune. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Awesome to be here.
I love that she steadfastly believes that she got the food poisoning from the touristy resort food. That would be fitting because maybe the stomach acclimates to just really fresh, really small batch, really homemade, really made with love food. And once you go someplace that's a little bit more industrial, commercial, maybe the stomach is just like, nah, get out of here. But we're out here for a day. We got Erica Fernandez of Black Sports Online coming in tomorrow for a quick little chat. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have fun with all these chats. Like, I've never had a bad interview. I've really been fortunate in that aspect, and was going through all of the Purple for the Win interviews, all the interviews on Bull, and all the guests on Football Convos from back in the day, and I just never had a bad one, because I'm not really a people person, but when I'm just talking one-on-one with someone, I feel like I can get a lot out of them. Like, I can get to know them. I can steer the conversation to interesting areas where they have a strong opinion one way or the other, or somewhere that they want to go. I just don't ram talking points and an agenda down people's throats. Well, hopefully not. Yeah. Something you should jam, though, is Josh Pelto, Remax Preferred. If you're buying or selling, I'm going to use Josh as the podcast makes bajillions of dollars. And then we're going to be upgrading to YZ. That's how we're going to roll eventually down the line. I'm going to use Josh, and hey, he's great, always maintains contact, and makes it really easy if you're buying your first home or if you're upgrading, just like Andy. No, I'm just kidding. I love my house. Get a hold of him, Josh Pelto, Remax Preferred. Give him a call, 763-213-4617. One more time, 763-213-4617, or shoot him an email at josh.pelto, Pelto, at remax.net. All right, zipping on out of here. Thanks, producer Allie, for making not sound so stupid today, except for right there, where I just completely butchered that one. iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Check out our YouTube, putting up daily content on there. And, of course, the Facebook page is very important, facebook.com/bull show. And tell a friend, baby. Get out there. But for Amelia Rayno, I'm Andy Carlson saying, Annyeong, sayonara, and bye-bye. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to Bull with Andy Carlson, Minnesota's 87th best daily podcast. Download the show on iTunes. Everyone's middle name is Jerome.